Hey, everybody!
Hello.
This is Alexander Shure, producer, director of your favorite animated children's picture, Tubby the Tuba. I got signed on to this project back in the summer of 46, right after WW2, when I was brought the project by this man.
Mr. Paul Tripp. I conceived originally of Tubby the Tuba, and I narrate and write. That's my name right there. Once upon a time, my origination. Thank you very much. Move on.
Also, we have here the fantastic animator, John Genitalia.
John Gentilella.
Yeah.
John Gentilella.
Now, here's the layman angle. I knew the man for a brief period.
Alphabetical order.
You guys remember
Pearl Baby.
the conductor, right?
Of
You all-
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I animated this picture. I'm just going to move it on to Mr.
David Wayne, hello. I'm one of the few surviving voice cast members.
David, come back. Wait. David, where are you going, David? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. David Wayne has left the room mysteriously. I'm presupposing under the assumption that we only wanted him to say his name. Can someone get David? David? There, okay. Yeah, put the microphone back on.
I've been
Frog.
brought back with much ado.
There you are, David Wayne.
There I am,
Pee-wee
Pee-wee the Piccolo. I'm so
And a
tall.
handsome
I'm so
little
tall. That's why I was
David
picked.
Wayne
I don't know if
phallic.
you're familiar with tallness, but that's why I was picked. Was my third feature. First is just a voice. I had a baby face. Babyface Wayne is what they used to call me.
I
but
still call you
I
that.
remember that was on your headshot.
it was on my headshot, and it will be on my headstone. But let's get on with this commentary.
Now, there's a black man with a condom on his head.
Yeah,
Written into the script. Little known fact.
Also, a picture taken, as I
Listen.
recall.
I took a picture of a man I saw in Central Park. I saw a black man with a condom on his head as a derby hat. And I said, that would be the punchline to a joke. I worked on that joke for 15 years, wrote as a script. Tubby the Tuba finally shows up on screen, and there you go.
Now, see these musical notes?
I recall these.
Yes. It was written as music. Music played here.
Why is Tubby apart from everyone?
I'll explain later.
I wanted those notes to be drawn on the screen. I didn't want any interpretation.
I thought the sound of music playing was clear enough to get the
Now,
idea
I
that there was
disagreed.
music playing.
I disagreed, and I still disagree that I want to see those literal notes coming at
In
you.
retrospect.
coming
Black
at you.
men with
In
condoms
retrospect.
on their head?
They look like asparagus.
No, those
No,
are black men
a
with
lot of
condoms.
these- a lot of these
in the
figures-
script.
what-
In the script.
Dark
Yeah.
asparagus.
We
is
had
all
to
I'm
dress the black man like an oboe because of course, the Jim Crow laws.
saying. Have you seen an oboe double reed? Doesn't make any sense.
Hobos!
No,
No, not
Oboe.
hobos.
Oboes.
Oboes, you
Oboes.
old son of a bitch.
Reminds me of one I saw on the train 2 years ago to the day. He had a newspaper worn as a coat. I swear to God, he seemed like a knight in shining armor till the day it punched through with a bullet. That's a book I'm writing right now. Pick it up in theaters. Thank you
My
very much.
first role was the man in white paper in Alice in Wonderland in a small town production, community production. Man in white paper.
I love community theater.
It's fantastic. It's lively.
That's where you see the real talent nowadays. None of this phony baloney.
That's where it starts.
And that's where it ends, as far as I'm concerned.
What do they have now? What do they have now for music? It's American what? American Idol? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
yeah,
This is,
yeah.
It's in many ways the American Idol of the drama.
You see here, he picked
Yeah,
up the
yeah,
note
yeah.
off the piece of paper. That was written in. That one I will give credit to Paul for. He said, pick up the note from the paper.
The three violinists were prima donnas, but anyway.
If I explain the script for a moment, this is written on a 7-day opium bender I took in Thailand.
I love opium.
I love Thailand.
I was in Thailand for 3 years, only 2 of which I can remember. The third one goes into the script. I don't remember. A day later, I read the script and said, so there's the year. 1942.
That must have been a good year.
Watch it.
Yeah, I remember you told me you left for Thailand because you were a conscientious objector to World War II.
Not so much objecting, but just so iffy.
Skeptic.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered
Now,
questions.
if I recall, Japan was involved in World War II. Am I right?
Yes, tertiarily.
Okay.
Thailand, not so much.
World War II is the Jew War, right?
That is a Jew war. Technically,
They're all Jew
Yeah.
wars.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
In the
Well-
script.
David Wayne is the one to say.
Yeah, I want to point out, and Paul just mentioned, I want to point out, everything we're talking about is in the subtext of the script. We're referencing,
World War II.
yes, the script.
Amongst
This script used to be 300 pages. And I said, just flatten
Flatten
them.
them. but
A joke I made because it's
but we
that
did
late.
literally flatten them and made one page a mile wide.
elephants,
we all-
right? Am I right? Did you
Yeah,
use
yeah, we used elephants. We made this thing a mile by a mile. And then he wrote the appendices. Boy, were we in a spot at that point. Wow.
I added a lot when I started taking opium again.
Yeah, this guy thinks he's J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, it's very popular.
I had nothing to do with pre-production.
I remember when we brought you in.
It was in production.
You were fresh-faced.
I was third feature.
You look like you should be on a milk carton.
He was.
I-
He was a lost child. You were a lost child.
I was a lost child for about 12 years. Yes,
Did you ever find your family?
I did eventually after the 12 years.
Did you ever find the man who raped you and kept you for 12 years?
I stayed with him for 11 of those 12 years.
What happened on the last year? Or the first?
I
Whatever
wanted-
year it was.
I wanted to find myself, and so we talked, and I said, I think this raping has really gone to a point that I don't know if either you and me can sustain this anymore.
It ran its
think-
course.
One of my favorite
Exactly,
stories.
exactly.
One of my favorite stories.
It's
because
touching.
it's so human.
I'd like to get into it now, but I will start weeping like a woman.
Yeah. And people don't want to hear about that. They want to hear about Tubby the Tuba.
No.
There he
Now
is.
who voiced Tubby? That was Dick, wasn't it?
That was
was
Dick Van
Dick
Van
Dick.
Dick Van Dick, as we called him.
Late every day, the original DVD. Now it's a disc. Who knew it would be?
The man kept us in suspense. He told us he was going to show up for this commentary. Didn't happen, did it?
No, I remember once he said he was going to show up for this other thing we were working on, for the commentary for Tubby the Tuba worm. Instead, he just punched me in the nuts, walked away.
Punched him in the nuts and walked
Now-
away.
A little known fact about Tubby himself, if I may interject.
Please.
Based on a fat man I killed.
What?
I remember.
19.
The statute, I don't think the statute of limitations is done on any kind of a murder. Am I right?
No, it is.
What?
1932, right before the statute was written. I'm in the park with a fat man. He kept making a noise very similar to Tuba called the sneeze. Makes a noise. I kill him, knife in his heart. Next day, I've written a script.
That was when you were in Thailand?
I was in Thailand, I believe.
Not many fat Thailand people that
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
few.
They eat a lot of rice.
A thin race, you gotta look round and then you see one. Stands out, looks like a man standing a foot taller than everyone else, but he's round. Who knew?
Well, I did. I heard about it the next day. I heard about a murdered Thailander.
Thailander.
All over the
Yeah,
news
It was
wire.
everywhere. Now, Paul, you were in hiding.
The AP rang with the death of a fat Thailander.
I was hiding at the time from a man named Ting Po Pak. If he catch you and lose a toe, I still got 10, so guess where I was?
You had 11 toes to begin with from your...
I had a disability called 11 toe. Named after me, Paul Tripp the 11 toe. They called me, was in a circus for a year, wrote a script, didn't get made, but
You ended up incorporating the circus into this one, though, which will be an upcoming scene.
it's worked in there in subtext. Gotta find it.
Well,
look
a lot of stuff's in the subtext, but I do remember the script you wrote was actually the script for the first Indiana Jones flick.
I wrote a script called Indiana Jones.
Similar.
Wait. This is me on this cloud, am
Yes,
I right?
that is
me.
you. That is your lovely voice.
I don't remember this scene.
Well,
And let's be honest. Why is a piccolo bigger than a tuba?
well,
That was
To
my
me,
that was my fault.
the thing is, to make them to scale, the piccolo would have looked like it would have been in the tuba's pocket. It would have been laughable.
That's true.
Like, artistic liberties.
I just want to say that the
I remember I
piccolo
sang
is
add a
laughable.
gymnast.
Yeah.
Add a gymnast. I said, there it is in the picture.
There-
Yeah. And really, that is